Greetings, guys and girls, and a very warm welcome, watchers. The sun is hiding and the magpie is casting. Coming to you guys right now with Semifinals B from the third weekly ESL Homeworld Deserts of Karak tournament. Featuring, well, I'll tell you what, why don't we wait for the map to load. The map, by the way, is going to be Galzian territories. Aha, here we go. It will be featuring spawning in the south, playing as the black and grey Galzian forces. It will be A-Gamerangs, who probably needs very little in the way of introduction by now, but suffice to say, a very, very highly developed, skilled, well-rounded player with the tactical aggression and macro-savvy sense to be just a really formidable opponent. You know, if you're new to the game and looking to pick up some tips and strategies, some builds or whatever for the Galzian forces, A-Gamerangs probably your man to pay attention to. And spawning in the north, oops, if I just reveal all, spawning in the north, playing as also the Galzian forces in the dark blue trunks, it is going to be Romper Frolic, who I might just call Romper, because Romper Frolic is quite the mouthful. Now, unfortunately, one of our round of 8 matches, the replays were not submitted, so I don't actually know much about Romper Frolic. It's my first time watching him play, and I was unable to see how he made it here into the semi-finals, so I don't really know anything about his playstyle or his preferred strategies, techniques, abilities, or anything like that. So anyway, we're going to have to see. Looks like a base runner, sorry, that's a production cruiser here, out with the sand skimmers for both players actually, so A-Gamer here might be able to pick off this scanner here, which I'm sure he'd love to do. And looks like Romper here gonna have to play slightly defensive. Looks like just slightly faster on the sand skimmer production here was A-Gamer. He has 3, Romper has 3, but the fourth, here we go, the fourth for A-Gamer is gonna be out well before the fourth here for Romper here. Now here come the 3 sand skimmers. A-Gamer always keen to take a micro-based fight. If he sees a 3-on-3 sand skimmer fight, look, see, he's going to use the high ground advantage here to gain an edge, just push back Romper a little bit, just try and see if he can get anything done. And of course he does have this slight sand skimmer edge by the fact that he's like kind of half a sand skimmer ahead in terms of like the build queues. Anyway, let's check the tech here for A-Gamer as we zoom out. He does not yet have refinery mode, but it looks like he's well on the way to saving for it. But there it goes, so I imagine he'll be clicking this button just as soon as he's done microing these sand skimmers. There we go. Refinery mode locked in and on the way. So a pretty standard opening here from A-Gamer so far. This is what he normally does. Hang on a second, let's just see. Has he? Oh, he hasn't cashed in his base runner. One thing that I've noticed A-Gamer often does is retire his early base runner, and that enables him to get refinery mode on his production cruisers a little bit faster because he has the extra money from having retired the base runner. Remember, for those of you who don't know, in Homeworld Deserts of Karak, you can retire any unit at any time, and it will drive back to your carrier, and you'll get the money back on it. Although I believe you only get like 75% or something, but I honestly don't quote me on that. Retiring is a thing that I always forget is in the game, and I very rarely retire units, so it's something I need to work on actually. Anyway, turning our attention back to the game, A-Gamer here is extracting an artifact. Looks like the sand skimmer numbers still firmly in his favor. He's scouting around the map with those sand skimmers, making sure that Romper here doesn't manage to get a backstab set up here where he can get some sand skimmers into the economy here. Looks like the production cruiser has come home for A-Gamer to coincide with the timing of refinery mode finishing, so he'll be able to use that as a second mining location very shortly. And it seems like, if we have a look here, assault ships have now finished for Romper Frolic. So he has the appropriate counter, and you can see the splash damage having hit these sand skimmers already. He also has his second production cruiser out considerably earlier than A-Gamerangs here. Let me just check here. Yeah, so 2 production cruisers already out here for Romper Frolic, and I imagine with the assault ships, he has all the tools he needs to hold a second mining location. So probably that's going to be the technique here, unless we're going to see, much like we saw in Semifinals A, the double production cruiser assault railgun rush. Although that's actually, he's already got assault ships, so that's not going to be the case actually. Let's forget about that. Now, seemingly another artifact trying to be snuck away here for A-Gamerangs, and actually this one assault ship is insufficient firepower to stop this base runner before it gets to the extraction zone. So this is going to be a 2-0 lead here for A-Gamerangs. As you see this artifact here escape. The sand skimmers for A-Gamer just here right now, just kind of scouting around, getting some intel, having a poke, checking out where the location of his opponent's assault ships are, getting the intel on what Romper Frolic's movements are. So there we go, 2-0 now the score, and that's a reasonable amount of power reserves. Yeah, 4 power chips for a total of 5 that A-Gamer has now ready to rock. Remember, each artifact is worth 2 power chips on your carrier. A-Gamer Sand Skimmers here just kind of keeping tabs on the assault ships. Remember, the assault ships, unlike the Coalition armored assault vehicles, do not have that suppressive fire, so you're kind of okay to take a few hits with the Sand Skimmers. You won't get suppressed and slowed down and snared and destroyed. Looks like A-Gamer, realizing that this base runner has died, he's just going to throw it off into a random corner of the map here. That's going to mean that these two assault ships have to spend like extra time and go further out of position to kill this base runner, so he's kind of actually nullifying these two assault ships using that base runner for a time here. It looks like a second production cruiser now online for A-Gamer ranks, and he's looking to mine off of this third location. The assault railguns are going to be the tech of choice here for A-Gamer ranks, and actually they're already out and moving rapidly across the map with a view to sniping off these assault ships. Looks like the Sand Skimmers thinking about trying to sneak round and go for a backstab or something like that, as the base runner for A-Gamer ranks is taken out in this location up in the top right of the screen here. Now, A-Gamer's forces are kind of sandwiched a little bit between a very loose concave of assault ships. As I zoom in here, you can sort of see this concave beginning to form here. Now, the assault railguns and the Sand Skimmers are fast enough that they can evade this if they want, and in fact, the assault railguns are actually just good enough in a fight that actually, if they just take these on two at a time, like kill these ones, then kill these ones, then kill these ones, these assault ships will be enough. I don't like going for the middle ones first, but it looks like he just wanted to pick off that wounded assault ship, just complete the kill, as it were, on that one. So, yeah, that seems fine. He can come across and get these two for free. These two are way out of position, these two assault ships. Romper Frolic is going to lose them for nothing. Whoa, up to 7 assault railguns. Assault railguns seem very strong in Galzian/Knef matchups in GVG, KVK, and GVK. Looks like Romper here gonna sneak an artifact out, so it is now 1-2. At least he's trading these assault ships. He knows that all of his opponents, or the main bulk of A-Gamer's army, is here taking care of those assault ships. So he's gonna take that opportunity to steal an artifact, and that is nicely done. Putting down a scanner, although that's somewhat forlorn because that will get killed here. And I imagine the base runner may be forfeit. Actually, he may just be able to get across here. Let's check the upgrades. Okay, no upgrades, no armor or firepower upgrades on these Sand Skimmers for A-Gamer. So that's pretty cool. And as this fight begins to develop, I need to just check the tech here. So it looks like missile ship fabrication is going to be the follow-up to this railgun tech. A-Gamer here wisely preempting a potential interceptor tech switch from his opponent, who already has the prerequisite assault ship research. So everything lining up nicely here for A-Gamer. And it looks like he's probably going to be able to snipe off a couple more of these assault ships as they retreat across the open. And here come those interceptors that A-Gamer was worried about. So it looks like air tech has been the choice here for Romper Frolic, but you know what, even if this interceptor is never shot down, I just don't think it's going to do damage fast enough to help out in this fight. The Sand Skimmer advantage goes to A-Gamer by a landslide, and these assault railguns are going to manhandle the very few assault ships that remain for Romper Frolic. So, okay, we're up to 2 interceptors out here now. They've killed off they've killed off like 3 or 4 of the assault railguns, and that is definitely valuable. The carrier here being powered up for Romper Frolic, going to come on out here and help hold off these Sand Skimmers. So the situation here, not irretrievable. This is far from game, but it's definitely very bad for Romper Frolic. A-Gamer really flexing his muscles. Here come those assault ships rallying out onto the field now. These guys are going to provide the anti-air. Let's just get a quick look at one of these things, because they're really cool. Whoop. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Just an awesome SAM platform. That's service to air missile. So anyway, heading back over here, the army for A-Gamer still being sort of chipped away by these interceptors, who are just being able to, whoa, that was a bit inaccurate, being able to spend their missiles for good effect here. Whoa, they would do if they would actually hit the weakened assault railguns here. There we go. And now the missile ship's moving into position. You can see the surface-to-air missiles beginning to strike these interceptors, and it's gonna be on. Oh, he's gonna lose an interceptor. I was gonna say it is very much on Romper Frolic there to call off his interceptors before he loses one. Staying just a little too long. These are Sand Skimmers going to be deflected by an assault ship here, but A-Gamer, you can see, is just working his foe down here. He has vastly superior numbers. The heavy railguns must be coming soon. No, just more assault railguns, but even the assault railguns, as we've seen in previous games this tournament, can do good work against carriers. So, and this is like 7 assault railguns. So this Galzian carrier has to be a little bit careful. And now the heavy railguns are coming out. The coup de grace, the hammer of death, the Galzian heavy railguns are coming out. Now, oh, these interceptors are trying to launch, but I mean, there's just missile ships like in range of the carrier. So as soon as those interceptors launch, they are taking anti-aircraft fire. So this is a very hazardous situation. They're going to land now. You can see them just landing. Oh, the animations in this game are so cool.
Coordinates verified.
So yeah, they land into their little landing bays there.
Defense fleet is reached.
Looks like there's going to be a backstab here. A-Gamer choosing to come around here on the east, just come around to the east and then flank up around to the north and take out all the salvages with these assault railguns. That is going to be brutal losses. He comes out with his own carrier now as well. Where's his base runner? Okay, if he manufactured another base runner, he could also be harvesting artifacts. Let's switch to the production tab, actually. Sorry about that. I forgot to bring that one up. So yeah, if he starts building base runners, that'd be pretty smart. Some salvages here getting chipped off by the assault railguns, and I have to say, this is looking like game, barring a miracle for Romper Frolic here. I mean, just look at the amount of forces for A-Gamer and compare and contrast to the army of Romper Frolic here, and it's just not going to be enough. That's the thing about mirror matches, by the way. Is like, if you fall behind by even just a tiny bit, you can't really rely on the strengths and weaknesses of your relative units like you can in non-mirror matchups to pull you back into the game, because your opponent has access to all the same tools. So if your opponent just has more sand skimmers and more armored chassis units than you do, like, there's no two ways about it. It's just a bad thing, like, in any mirror matchup. So anyway, the carrier here for Romper Frolic getting heavily besieged down by taking salvos to the face. Many heavy railguns utilizing the high ground advantage provided by this sand dune here. If I bring the camera down, you can see the three-dimensional nature of this map. Doing masses of damage to this carrier. That should be a carrier kill, I would have thought. Here come the interceptors and a barrage of missiles from that carrier, but it is too little too late. A-Gamer ranks gonna take a 1-0 lead in this series, and not really breaking a sweat there, as this Galzian carrier goes down in a spectacular explosion. Yeah, I feel like A-Gamer didn't really break a sweat there, just solid play, kept his opponent on the back foot the whole time whilst expanding his economy behind that, and was never caught out by a tech switch. Even the interceptors, he was expecting that, because, you know, you could see he had the missile ships on the tab, and those interceptors did pay for themselves, undoubtedly. They took out a number of assault railguns, and you know, to some extent, forcing your opponent to take some tech is damage of a sort, because that's money that they're having to spend. But, you know, I don't think A-Gamer was ever really in jeopardy there. The damage the interceptors did was just never enough to allow Romper Frolic to, like, snowball out of control. So we're going to be moving on to Game 2 in this series, and we're going to have to see if Romper Frolic can bring some new I don't know, like, strategies to bear here, because A-Gamer is quite the brutal opponent. So anyway, yeah, without further ado, moving on to Game 2. Alrighty, so here we go. Game 2 here between the Galzian forces of Romper Frolic and the Galzian forces of A-Gamer Ranks. The map is going to be the Boneyard, so one of the less symmetrical maps, actually. I just haven't seen enough games on this map, or even played enough games on this map to say if there's any particular spawn bias in a GVG. I don't think so, but I just don't know, so I'm not going to hold my hand up and say either way. Anyway, without further ado, let us introduce these two players. Spawning in the south, playing as the grey and black Galzian forces, it is going to be A-Gamer Ranks. And spawning in the north, as soon as I get the correct... hello? Oh, okay, sorry, he's over here. Right, good. Pro-casting there, Magpie, pro-casting. Spawning in the north, also playing as the Galzian forces, but in the dark blue, it is Romper Frolic. Oh, this game's just so cool. Sorry, I just love the vehicles and stuff in this game. It's awesome. So, alright, let's take a tactical overview here. We can see that A-Gamer moving out with his production cruiser. His base runner in tow. Looks like he decided not to retire that unit, as he has so often shown that he wants to do. And actually, it's Romper Frolic, good old Romper up here, who has retired his base runner. So he has those additional funds and has probably invested them into early production cruiser refinery mode, or I don't know, like he'll probably get sand skimmers out first and then get that. Yeah, so there we go. So the sand skimmer fabrication is first, but he'll have earlier production cruiser refinery mode after that. So there we go. A-Gamer has finished the sand skimmer fabrication, and he is out on the map. Looks like he's going to look to grab an artifact shortly. His base runner taking up position there. His sand skimmers are going to finish off this poor little scanner here. You can see, hello, I'm just a little scanner. Oh man, there we go. Scano going to go down. So yeah, the sand skimmer is now going to move on. Looks like Romper has an equal number of sand skimmers though. They're going to be ready to deflect this. So A-Gamer is not going to be able to dive in and look to chip away a salvage or anything. Look at A-Gamer just splitting these sand skimmers up. Just look how much is more. Look how much more of the relevant map area is blue because of the way he splits these sand skimmers. Like, he's clearly just creating a sensor web here, where he's going to be able to see any move out from Romper. And Romper, so far content to just sit back. Where's the next mining location? Okay, so it would be here for the player spawning in the north. The artifacts are about to spawn in a couple of seconds, so A-Gamer will start exfiltrating one of those. His production cruiser has headed home, and if we check the carrier, it's going to arrive back just about when refinery mode finishes. So A-Gamer looking to macro behind this. 4 sand skimmers, the amount with which he's happy, and they are providing him a kind of a nice little network here. Okay, now here come the sand skimmers here for Romper. Going to move on out here. Let's see how quickly A-Gamer reacts. There we go. He's going to get his sand skimmers away because obviously one sand skimmer does not beat 6, and 4 sand skimmers, if he brings them all into the fight, do not beat these ones either. Whoa, he's going to have to be a little bit careful, getting a bit close with one of his sand skimmers there. Whoa, this one's getting a bit close as well. Uh-oh, oh no, he's probably going to drop this sand skimmer then. That is a shame. That was kind of a needless loss. I imagine what he did is he had them all in one control group, it looked like, and told them all to go down here, which meant that actually one of them went through the through these sand skimmers. An uncharacteristic mistake there from A-Gamer. Not often that I see him drop something new like that, but you know, it's only a sand skimmer. But a nice pickup there for Romper Frolic nonetheless. And Romper Frolic, wow, actually already has assault ships coming out, so this time, unlike in the first game, he wasn't really forced to bring out these assault ships for defense. In fact, it's Romper Frolic right now who has map control, owing to his higher number of sand skimmers. So it seems that he just wants to rush assault ship tech. This strikes me as slightly strange because, in my experience, Galzian players, myself included, well, I guess I'm kind of more Knef these days. But anyway, Galzian and Knef players will tend, unless pressured, to go for railgun tech, because that gives you 2 units. It gives you the heavy railgun, which is amazing, and the assault railgun, which it turns out is amazing. And it also, well, I don't know, like in my experience, like that's just, because you can win the game with railgun tech. It's very hard to win the game with assault ship tech. Assault ship tech is pretty much like a defensive slash field control tech, but it's very hard to like just knock your opponent out of the game, whereas with railguns you can checkmate your opponent and just kill them. So anyway, all I'm saying is it's quite interesting. I am intrigued here as to why we see assault ships on the field without significant pressure forcing them from A-Gamer. But you know, whatever, assault ships are fine units, and it might just be that Romper Frolic is particularly confident or has a lot of faith in those units. So anyway, a wing of sand skimmers has like actually managed to sneak around the sand skimmer web of A-Gamer here. So these sand skimmers here for Romper Frolic are going to be able to pick up a salvager. A-Gamer very quickly moving that salvager away. Oh, he's going to need to pay attention. There is also, okay, so a sand skimmer of A-Gamer's was lost in mid. The assault ships from Romper Frolic were able to take that out. Now here come these sand skimmers. Uh-oh, this assault railgun a little exposed. And if Romper Frolic wants to pick up this assault railgun, he will be able to. Yeah, he's going to get that assault railgun, but at the cost of all of his sand skimmers, that seems like a high price. Oh, whoa, A-Gamer just slightly mismicroing his sand skimmers for a second there. Uh-oh, and because of that, he's lost enough damage that he might lose a second assault railgun. Yeah, he's going to lose a second assault railgun. Oh, that's a bit rough there for A-Gamer. Still probably worth it, trading off all of his opponent's sand skimmers for those 2 assault railguns, but much more expensive price than I'm sure he would have liked to have paid there. And that last sand skimmer there for Romper Frolic just now going down. And now A-Gamer is going to move out across the map, I imagine. He's got 2 assault railguns, make that 3. He's got 2 production cruisers. His opponent has 2 production cruisers as well, but is kind of mining off 1.5 locations, long distance mining this location, whereas A-Gamer is actually in situ mining 2 locations and getting set up on a 3rd. So the economy here for A-Gamer undoubtedly superior to that of his opponent Romper Frolic here. And now let's see if he can convert that economic advantage into just an avalanche of units rallying across the map. He could just win this game very soon, or he may choose to do something different. He hasn't had scanning, or he hasn't had much sensor coverage on his opponent's side of the map for some time, so he doesn't know this. He doesn't know that he has such an economical lead. He may well suspect it, but he doesn't know it. This base runner here for A-Gamer going to be trying to grab another artifact. That'll make it 2 if he gets it out, but there are 2 assault ships moving to defend the artifact site here for Romper Frolic. Looks like heavy railguns are now coming out for Romper Frolic, so railgun tech now finished for the northern spawning Galzian player. Missile ship fabrication going to be the next tech of choice here for A-Gamer. So he's safeguarding himself against another air switch. That does make a lot of sense. After that first game, if you remember, Romper Frolic did go into air units, so there is a precedent here, which A-Gamer might be respecting, that his opponent might, you know, go for those assault ships again. Looks like we may have a skirmish here. There's a number of units moving into position in the middle of the map, and if we do, this will be a fight which A-Gamer will take. Oh, these units need to regroup with their friends. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, these two assault ships are going to bite off way more than they can chew because the assault railguns are here. Blah, 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 and he's just going to instantly, I think... Oh, using this line of sight blocker. Ha! And now the heavy railguns are here to cover. Romper Frolic with a very nice move. Boom! Picks off an assault railgun. That is very nicely done. That is so nicely done. Using this line of sight blocker and the range on his heavy railguns. Look at that. Using 4 armored chassis units, he was able to hold off 6 armored chassis units and a wing of sand skimmers and kill one of the armored chassis units. So a very nice fight there. A very nice fight there, indeed, from Romper Frolic. That's heartening to see. Also, he's chasing away the base runner in the south. He needs to give up this chase and fall back because he will just sacrifice these 2 assault ships. He does that, but I fear a little too late. He could actually try and move his heavy railguns into cover this, but that leaves him open to a sand skimmer backstab. So yeah, so he's going to reposition the heavy railguns here. The sand skimmer backstab is now an option, and the reason it's an option is because these assault ships have to babysit these heavy railguns. As soon as the assault ships here step away from the heavy railguns, these heavy railguns will die almost instantly to sand skimmers here from A-Gamer. That's an opportunity he'll take in a heartbeat if it presents itself. So, oh, amazingly, these 2 assault ships are actually going to get out of there, and the base runner's going to come back in again gingerly. Looks like Romper Frolic gets himself mining on a second location here, so that's really good. A-Gamer now firmly mining on 3. All the salvages online there. And the third production cruiser moving on out to this 3rd mining location here. So, I mean, Romper Frolic is getting himself up in the... Whoa, hang on just a second though. Romper Frolic loses 2 assault railguns there. A bitter price for just a sand skimmer or 2 that he picked up. He's going to come on out with a sand skimmer of his own, just coming on out to scout here. Oh, he wants to take a dive a bit further. Okay, the sand skimmer's going to get hoovered up. Meanwhile, in the bottom right of the map, the 2 assault ships for Romper Frolic go down to the assault railguns for A-Gamer ranks, and this base runner is going to make the scoreline 2-0 in A-Gamer's favour. And as I was saying, to finish my thought before this happened, A-Gamer just faster on the economy, taking the edge in almost every fight. There was a nice fight taken here by Romper Frolic, but taking the edge in nearly every fight, and look where we're ended up now. We're coming up to like the 9.5, 10-minute mark in this game, and A-Gamer has a vast sand skimmer landslide in his favour. He has way more assault railguns, he even has more heavy railguns, so he's mining off of more locations, he's ahead by 2 artifacts. He is marshalling this game so well, like he's just ahead by every available metric. Uh-oh, exposed assault railguns here, and A-Gamer will take this opportunity to come on in with the sand skimmers. Is it a trap? Because the sand skimmers find themselves spit roasted by assault ships here. A-Gamer sees this and he's going to let the heavy railguns go. Worth a try, but ultimately he's going to be held off here. And now the heavy railguns of his own are here. He's going to have a little heavy railgun fight here. Oh, there we go. Which is a fight he shouldn't win. He only has 2, no, he has 3 heavy railguns to his opponent's 3. Now the sand skimmers get up on the heavy railguns, and that is over. And unless I am much mistaken, that will be game. I cannot see anywhere, because he's on top of his opponent's economy now. Winning this fight is winning the game, because he kills his opponent's economy. He's ahead on artifacts. There's just no way he can lose this game now, so... Nice work there from A-Gamer Ranks, very nicely done. Just jousting for position, always maintaining his lead, always staying on top in just about every way in that game until he has, critical mass here, and then he can just sledgehammer his foe. So very nicely done, and I believe our finals, which will be a best of 5 if it's the same as previous weeks, will be between Tren and A-Gamer Ranks, who have both proven to be very, very good players. Tren, remember, was the master of the double production cruiser assault railgun push, and I haven't seen A-Gamer tested by this particular build, so we'll have to see if it's going to be effective here. And here we have the sort of GG push, if we like, at the carrier. So yeah, a best of 5 between A-Gamer and Tren going to be set up here, and that I'm looking forward to. That should be quite the spicy game or match. Yeah. Just watching the army of A-Gamer here put the finishing touches on his opponent's carrier. I think it was well played by Romper Frolic, and I would have liked to have seen his round of 8 games so that we could learn a little bit more about Romper Frolic. But maybe if he plays in next week's tournament, then we can catch some more games of his. Because I'd be curious to see, how he plays against the other races and see what happens in a game that goes a bit longer involving him. Anyway, there goes the economy. Shortly to follow the carrier, the fusion reactor, shielding fails, and the devastating explosive forces are released. Boom, there goes the carrier. And that is going to be a 2-0 victory in Semifinals B here for A-Gamer Ranks. He'll be moving on to the finals, as I've just said, to play against Trent. So without further ado, I'm going to head on and cast that one right now, because it should be really sweet, and I like casting sweet games. Yeah, it's pretty simple, really. So I will catch you guys in the finals.